We are coming. Good Lord.
We are going live.
Hello, I'm live.
Are we? Are we live? Are we live?
Let me tell you, I'm so excited for the stream. Let me tell you.
Okay. What's wrong? We're live now. What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I'm here. Hello. I'm just.
Are you taking a goddamn selfie?
No.
Oh.
I'm adjusting these lights. I'm turning them on. Tony.
Oh. I thought. Oh my God! Your camera moved.
Oh, wow.
Was that the Skinamarink? Okay, everyone.
Skinamarink.
It sure is.
Everybody, welcome to Hack the Movies live February wrap up. You guys are probably wondering, why didn't you just do this later in the month? Because you're not talking about Cocaine Bear. I will review Cocaine Bear with Movie Dumpster. That is the plan for the future. So come back to Movie Dumpster for Cocaine Bear. We are doing Hack the Movies live with the official Joey C. And let me tell you, I'm really happy to have Joey C here. Let me tell you. How you doing, Joey?
Let me tell you, Tony, we're happy to be here. Happy to see everybody. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to have you. And happy to read you. How are you?
Great. And I'm here with everybody's favorite, sorry, Joey, everybody's favorite co-host of all time, the It's Mint Salad. Hello, Mint Salad.
Hello. Wait, Tony, when you do the Cocaine Bear review, will you be doing cocaine? That's a
I will
really
probably not
important
be doing cocaine, but I will be dressed like a bear.
Okay, that's good. That's
You
good to
already
know.
are a bear.
I still have a bear outfit from the, the Midsommar review, and I'm actually going to turn your mic up a little bit, Mint. Okay. We have a bunch of movies to talk about tonight. The name of the game tonight is talking about movies, but there's another name of the game. And what's the name of that game, Joey C?
Super chats, baby. If you want Mint Salad or Tony from Hack the Movies or Joey C to whisper sweet nothings into your ear within reason, all you have to do is send a super chat and we'll do it.
Yes, we'll probably hit a mid-show break where I'll read the super chats. And then I will read more super chats at the end. And also, we have two of them waiting in the wings. For $10 patrons. Actually, one just disappeared as soon as I said that. For $10 patrons, I sent out the StreamYard link, and we're going to have some patrons come in and share their thoughts on some of the movies and shows we're talking about. So that should be a lot of fun. First time we're doing this, we talked to the two lovely people ahead of time. If anyone else jumps in, I hope they're just as nice. And don't just come in and scream random things. Anyway, let's get on with this. The first movie is Infinity Pool, starring Alexander Skarsgård, who was in my favorite film last year, The Northman. Mia Goth, also in two of my favorite films last year, X and Pearl. And Cleopatra Coleman, I'm pretty sure that was his girlfriend in the movie. I've already forgotten about her. Directed by Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg, who is a very well-known director, but also horror director. He was also the guy Jason stabs in Jason X. Those are his two claims to fame, I assume.
That's not nice of Jason.
But what was that, Mint?
That's not nice of Jason.
You know, Jason's not known for doing nice things, man. He's not known for doing nice things. Now,
you're going to cancel him for that. I'm not liking that.
No, but Jason needs to be canceled. Actually, Jason has been canceled because they haven't made a movie about him since 2009.
We don't talk about that one.
But yes, he is his father, David Cronenberg, is a horror director and just a director. They're the same thing. I didn't want to just say just horror director because he's done other things. But Brandon Cronenberg, I haven't seen any of his movies. Have you two?
This is my first movie that I've seen from him, and boy, I gotta tell you, wow. This one's a ride.
Wait, Joey, did you just say, I gotta tell you? That's off-brand.
Oh,
do it again. Do it
okay.
again. Do it again.
Boy, let me tell you, wow.
Say the line, Bart.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah. So Joey did his. Let me tell you. Let me get Mint to do her line. Mint, could you believe some of the things happening in this movie?
Wow, I can't believe it. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay. So how I saw this movie. A local theater is closing down. One that me and Casey frequent a lot. It's a nice small theater. It's been there forever, and it's finally closing. Regal is closing a lot of their smaller theaters and focusing on their nice big ones. So we were like, let's go see one last movie there. And we were going to go see the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but it was not playing. And I was like, what do you want to see? Do you want to see a movie in that theater, or do you want to just see the M. Night movie? She's like, I kind of really wanted to go to that theater. I'm like, okay, then pick any movie. I'm fine. She's like, what about Infinity Pool? All I knew about Infinity Pool were the two actors in it. And I think I saw a picture of Mia Goth holding a gun. And that is it. I didn't watch a single trailer. I didn't look anything into it. Even going into the film, I had no idea what it was about. Did you have any idea what this was about going into it, Joey C?
No, actually, the only reason I even remotely wanted to watch it was because you sent me a list and say, hey, man, you got to watch this. So I watched it, didn't watch any trailer, had no idea. And wow, this was a movie.
What about you, Mint? What was your previous exposure to this movie?
My previous exposure to this movie was none. I didn't watch the trailer. You just sent me a list. Hey, watch this movie. I'm like, okay, I shall. So I did it actually a couple hours ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're
so
pretty
it's
fresh on it. All right.
It's fresh in your head. So the movie plays, and I was like, huh, I wonder what this is about. Okay, we got a bunch of people at a resort on an island. I'm like, I just watched the first season of White Lotus, so okay, I'm getting some White Lotus vibes. Probably be about the natives or anything. And then, like, the plot kicks in, and I was like, oh, that's what this is about. So just a brief summary here.
Are we doing spoilers? Should we spoil it?
No, slight spoilers.
Okay,
I don't want to spoil
spoilers.
like the whole movie because these are brand new movies, so I just want to go not too much into spoiler territory. So, Alexander Skarsgård and his girlfriend, like I said, they're vacationing. He's a writer. He hasn't written anything in years, though. They hang out with a couple who they run into, Mia Goth and her husband or whatever. And they go adventuring outside of the resort, which you're not supposed to do on this island. There's a weird moment, which I want to talk about, that I have a lot of problems with. They accidentally kill a guy, and they try to get away with it, but they do not
A hit and run,
away
basically.
with it. Yes. And good old Thomas Kretschmann is the local police guy there. He arrests them, and he's like, hey, I just want you to know, under our laws, the member of the family has to kill you. That's the rules down here. And then he goes, but if you opt into this deal that we're doing, it costs money. we can make an entire genetic copy of you. And the member of the family can kill this copy, and this copy will have all of your memories and feelings. And you can get off scot-free, and your copy will take the fall. So I was like, wait, what? I'm watching. I'm like, cloning? Is that what this movie's about?
I was not
No one. I don't think anyone was expecting that, unless it was in the trailer. I don't know. But yeah, so he gets dipped in some red goo.
Yeah.
They clone him, and like one of the requirements is you have to watch. Like, you have to watch the person kill your double. So yeah, and something in this like awakens something in Alexander Skarsgård, because he's like, I just got away with stuff, and I can get away with more, and I can see the results of my actions, but not have to actually participate or like suffer them myself. And then he realizes that there are other people on this island that this has happened to multiple times, and it's like, it's broken their brains. Because they start doing it to get their kicks off, and the movie gets real trippy. The movie was very trippy. The cinematography was insane.
I really dug the cinematography. It got really deep. It was like layers on layers on layers. I was like, good Lord, when is it going to stop?
Yeah. Man, what did you think of the visuals in this?
The visuals were, first of all, I really like the cinematography, the shot composition, and a lot of the shots, especially like when they start, they smoke a beetle. I don't know what
That's
drug
right.
it is. They smoke a beetle, but they hallucinate, and then there's breast milk, but it's not breast
Oh.
milk, and I didn't like that scene.
Because it turned into breast blood for a second.
Oh, that's what it was.
There's a lot of trippy stuff in this, weird visuals, weird unexplained sci-fi. But the problem I had with the film, and I'm pretty sure we all had the same problem. So Alexander Skarsgård, he takes a piss, and then Mia Goth shows up right behind him, and right away just starts cranking him, and he like comes in like 1 minute, and I'm like, I went bullshit right after a piss. I'm like, it does not happen that fast.
No man would ever ejaculate that fast. I gotta tell you, that would never happen to.
Well, no.
You know,
happening that fast, that definitely happens, Joey. See, happening that fast after pissing, it's like, no, because it's one pipe and it's got to readjust for the new thing. I'm pretty sure he wasn't peeing hard. It was. What was that, Mint?
It's like a train circuit. The vas deferens is like a train circuit.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. You
Yes,
can't just
yes,
switch
yes.
gears that fast.
And I think
time
we
to
can
readjust.
I think we can all agree that probably the movie lost points for this. It probably took us out of the moment. Mint, were you confused by this whole sequence here?
I was really confused as to like why just like come up to somebody and like
That's
when they're
assault.
pissing outside just start jerking them off. I'm like, I don't know, take it to the bedroom or something. You
Well,
you
she
know
could
that he
into
has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So like take it to the bedroom, make sure you guys don't get caught if you guys are gonna do that. But like outside, right in the middle of like
Hang on. You pose a good point there. What the hell? What kind of timing was that? The man's peeing, and what makes you think, oh, he's peeing, time to go?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You gotta wait like a minute or so, man. You can't just go in it. And by the way, this is a while before the cloning is introduced, and I was watching this.
Before.
I'm watching this scene, and I'm like, well, that's just very unrealistic. I don't care for this. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the plot and everything. We gave a brief summary. Starting with you, Joey. Joey, did you like this movie or did you hate it?
It's pretty middle of the road for me. I think there's a lot of like undertones of like privilege and consumerism and
woke
gentrification stuff.
Woke. It's what you're saying, words that make me say woke. I don't even know why I'm saying it.
Right.
But I hear those words and I have to yell woke. I have to.
It was a deep movie. It was a decent ride, I guess. It wasn't anything crazy. It's nothing I would call you immediately and say, dude, have you seen that? It was, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, Mint, what did you think of Infinity Pool? What was your main takeaway from this?
So at the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm interested. I want to see what's happening. And then as things get weirder and weirder and like more insane, like I had questions like, would I clone myself in order to do more crimes? Probably not. But it posed a lot of questions. Like, if you're gonna clone yourself to do crime, what's the point of cloning yourself as like a punishment? That's not a punishment. Not at all. I don't consider that a punishment. That's just somebody getting away scot-free and then seeing somebody else who looks like them, like their twin, getting killed for it. I don't like that, okay? That's not a punishment system. So I don't like this movie because the punishment system doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's... plus, I like the visuals and the cinematography, the shot composition, the set dressing was pretty good. I enjoyed that. It was just weird. It was a little bit too weird for me.
It was an odd movie.
Real quick, I'm just gonna bump your mic up again, Min. I just saw something that they still think you're a little too low, so I'm bumping it up.
Now I will say, Mint, say something, please.
Say something. I'm giving up.
I think that sounds a little bit better. Now, Mint, I don't know if you're familiar with David Cronenberg, the director's father. He does a lot of body horror stuff. So it's interesting to see that his son has also explored this body horror genre. I like the masks that they made them wear, like the weird,
really cool.
fleshy masks. Yeah, I really like that. And you're right. I really enjoyed this movie, not knowing what it was going in. Guys, I think I laughed so hard at this more than any comedy I've seen in a while. And actually, in the theater, I was like, it had dawned on me. I'm like, I don't think I've seen a good new comedy in a very long time. So this weird, trippy body horror psychedelic thing is just making me giggle. And I'm like, this is what I have to go to now. But I like that most of the movies I've seen in theaters lately have not been intellectual properties, except for one that we're going to talk about at the very end.
That's right.
So I really enjoyed that. Now, you know who really didn't like this movie? Casey. She hated this thing.
Really?
She had to hide her eyes the whole time. This was too much. It was too much for Casey. She could not. She was like, I hate this movie.
That
This
actually
is
cracked me up.
disgusting. She is being so grossed out, and I'm laughing my ass off. Like when he's having sex with Mia Goth and the camera pans down and the French guy or whatever is behind them. She was like,
yeah.
the peeing jerk off scene, that was a little too much. I don't think she expected a close up of the actual stuff on the ground. I don't think anyone did.
Yeah, that was pretty
But
gross.
maybe there's something she liked. Let's call her real quick. Let's see.
Oh boy, I kind of I'm kind of like with both of you guys,
Yeah.
honestly.
One
My last
second,
answer
man.
was also disgusting.
One second. Hi, Casey. What was your favorite part of Infinity Pool? Yeah, that movie Infinity Pool that we saw. What was your favorite part?
No. I tried to block it out of my memory. There is no good parts. All parts bad.
Well, okay. That's all we wanted to know. I just told everyone in the live chat how your reaction to the movie, and they were all entertained by it. But okay,
No. Don't see Infinity Pool.
no, I wish my co-host for tonight's episode got that advice because they did see Infinity Pool.
Ah!
All right, goodbye, Casey.
Oh, okay. Bye, Brody.
Bye. I will say, I mean, she'll never watch it again. But if you're going to go see this movie, take someone who's like Casey, because her reaction to everything made the movie so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
I was just like, this movie's fun and everything, but like you freaking out and going, no! And I'm like, okay, that made the movie so much.
It's a lot less enjoyable than or a lot more enjoyable than me sitting in a dark room, just like eating popcorn, like watching a guy get jerked off and peeing at the same time.
Now, Joey, I'm glad you mentioned sitting in a dark room.
That's right.
Because that takes us to our next movie, and I think we all need to get in Skinamarink mode right now. Let's all get in Skinamarink mode. Okay.
Okay. Skinamarink. It's a pretty good movie.
Hey, Joey.
Skinamarink. Yeah.
I wouldn't say so.
Skinamarink.
Did you know what Skinamarink was before I told you about it?
I didn't even hear about it, and I didn't even know how to say it until you said it, and now I know how to say it. Skinamarink.
Mid-Salad, what is your previous exposure to this film, Skinamarink?
Oh boy, my previous exposure to the film Skinamarink is that I didn't hear about it until you suggested me to watch it. Also, my roommate, legendary hip hop producer Cranberry Dave, has seen this already and he likes it. So I was like, okay, you like it? I'm gonna see it. I want to see what it's like.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Yeah. We're gonna keep the lights off, but we're gonna stop doing the whispering bit. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Hey, how are you? Good.
Skinamarink. Everyone.
Skinamarink.
A lot of people were hyping this one up. People were like, this is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's crazy. And then I saw people being like, this movie is the worst movie I've ever seen. I hate every part of it. It's awful. There's nothing. It's been a while. No one talked about Infinity Pool. I think that movie might have flopped. But people were talking about Skinamarink
Big time.
lot.
Big time.
A lot. And like to the point where I'm like, I need to watch this movie. Again, mainstream like Hollywood movies, I'm just getting so tired of.
Me too.
That I'm like, you know what? I'll watch a movie that's a fucking, I don't know, two kids hanging around in the dark for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
a
that's
friend
kind of
actually,
what I dig about like doing this kind of stuff is because I would never watch a movie like this
Yes.
strictly because I would have never heard about it if it
yes.
wasn't for like people talking about how experimental it is.
Yes, so I popped it on. It finally made it to Shudder. Someone sent it to me early, but I didn't get a chance to watch the copy. So I'm like, all right, let me pop it on Shudder. And I sat and I watched it. So the story, if there is one,
Oh, there is one. Don't you worry about that.
Two kid. There's a boy who just suffered a like a head injury or whatever.
He fell down the stairs.
He fell down the stairs. He is at home with his sister and his family. That night, his parents are gone. It's just him and his sister, and things are disappearing. There's some unknown entity that's making doors disappear, toilets disappear, which I think is mean.
That's a good point.
And a bunch of things disappear, and these kids don't know what's going on. Now, just describing the plot, that probably sounds interesting, right?
Yeah.
Man, you specifically, if you had not seen this movie and I just gave you that plot synopsis, would that make you want to see the movie?
Well, it sounds interesting. Like I would just go see it anyway. But you know.
Now, if I were to follow up with, by the way, it's mostly long, out of focus shots of dimly lit Legos, would you still want to go see the movie?
Well, Tony, you actually did describe me this movie like that.
I didn't tell you the plot. I told you the Legos thing, but if I told you the plot first.
You said it was lampshades and
Yeah,
Legos.
that's true.
It was walls. It was hallways. It wasn't just lampshades, Tony. You misinformed me.
I didn't know. I informed you. I just didn't give you every single detail. Okay. Again, this movie is experimental. Definitely experimental. This is not your traditional movie. It's not meant to be a traditional movie. It's not meant to tell a story in a natural way. And I understand if you don't watch weird art films like this, and I like weird art films. I don't watch them all the time. But when I see stuff like that, like people were getting angry at this. I'm like, I don't think I could get angry at this. I do have some issues though. Now, the look of the film is really cool. It's like, it's made to look like it's shot on old film stock, but then it's also digitally compressed. There's a lot of digital noise and just like fuzz and like static everywhere. And it's a really cool look, because for a minute I thought it was like a found footage thing, and it's not. It's just meant to give this found footage feel, and nothing is really focused on. There's only a few really well lit scenes. But yeah, I like the look of it and everything. My issue is there's a oh my god. Oh, someone just commented something. Sorry. There's a lot of buildup to these scares. Really long buildup to all these scares. Like I want to say like 15, 20 minutes of a buildup. And my problem is, here's the scare, everyone. It's just like, hey, Joey, look at this. Look at this. Like, ah! Like, that's it. And then that's it. I'm like, oh, just a loud sound jump scare. I'm like, that's not really I mean, the movie's creepy. It's got a very creepy feel, a creepy vibe. But then when you get to the actual scare, it's just a thing moves and yells. Mint, were you scared of this movie?
I was not scared of this movie.
Oh.
I was mostly really confused. Like I was like watching this movie. I was like, okay, I got some plot details. A lot of the plot details include, Dad, where are you, Dad? Dad, it's so dark. It's out.
The echo
Dad.
works. That's pretty accurate. I was also sitting in the dark, and you weren't scared, and neither was I. I wasn't.
I also
wasn't
watched
scared.
this in the dark. I tried to go in with like the right mindset, but yeah, I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, the atmosphere is good. They're building up like the scene where he's in the room with his mom was real tense. I thought that was real tense.
Super intense, yeah.
And he's like, look under the bed.
Dude, I
Okay.
thought for sure something was gonna happen. I was like, oh my good lord, are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, and then that one didn't even have a jump scare. It was just
Somebody
scene's done.
disappeared. Yeah.
the scene's done. Oh, okay. And then I'm like, well, I'm sure whenever they get up to the next big scare, it's going to be good. And then it just was like, I have no eyes and mouth. Ah! I'm like, oh, okay. There was a loud noise again. This movie's long. Longer
Yeah,
than it has
it's a
to be.
long movie. I agree.
So I found out they did there was like a proof of concept film that was 28 minutes long called Heck. You can find it on YouTube. I didn't have time to watch it. I feel bad. I meant to watch it and I just kept forgetting. And when I found out that it was originally a 28-minute short, I was like, oh, that makes way more sense. A 28-minute short would have been way more tolerable than this long feature-length version of out of focus close-ups of TVs playing cartoons, public domain cartoons.
Yeah, probably. I was
But
just gonna say
apparently-
public domain.
Apparently this blew up on like TikTok and it became viral. What you call it? Sundance, I think. They did some kind of film festival, like a digital one, and somehow a really good copy of this movie leaked online early. And people were making like weird TikToks.
Oh,
and
interesting.
stuff. Yeah, they were making like weird TikToks and whatnot. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a cult following. I feel like people watch it, and they don't know what to take out of it, and they get confused.
I agree. I think it's like another kind of Blair Witch situation. Like
Yeah.
half the people who watch it love it, and the other half of the people fucking hate it.
Yeah,
And that's kind of
I
the
actually-
reaction that I've seen.
I actually, apparently your mic jumped up again, so you got a little Skinamarink there, Joe.
Oh no, sorry, I scared you.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again, which is weird. I didn't think I wanted to, but over the last few days, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I kind of want to watch that scene again. That was actually pretty cool. It gets super. Speaking of Infinity Pool, it gets real trippy
Yeah, it does.
toward the end. And yeah, the way with the digital fuzz and whatnot, it's hard to like see, and your eyes are like focusing, and you're not sure. I feel like because they use that effect, you might start seeing you might start projecting your own images onto the static. So I was like trying to look for things. I'm like, am I seeing something right now, or do I just think I'm seeing something right now?
That's a good
So
point.
I had to look up, like toward the end, you see like a figure whose like head is disappearing on the bed. I'm like, is that what happened? I really couldn't tell. But yeah, it gets weird toward the end. Like, you find out the kids are in this weird dimension for like 500 days. There's an entity that's like doing this on purpose, but you never know why. Did you like the mystery of this, Mint Salad? Did you like being confused and asking questions?
I mean, I prefer like a more straightforward plot. Honestly, I was really confused. Because of like the absence of plot and the absence of faces until the end. I was like, I don't understand the motivation. Like, I guess it's supposed to be like a quiet house. We have children, young children in a quiet house. They don't know where their dad is, so of course they're scared. And that's what this movie gave me the vibe of, like, of just, well, these children are scared. It's like if you're a child, if you're a youngin' and you're home alone, you're going to be scared. This is like probably the equivalent. This movie's equivalent of that feeling, I think.
Great.
but
Now I'm
otherwise-
scared.
But
Nate, you
otherwise,
scared Joey.
I'm not liking this.
However, I have to give points off for this because the movie is supposed to be set in 1995, but someone said one of the Legos that are featured was not made till many years later.
Oh, that's not
So-
very cash money of them.
So I mean, if you're gonna try and set your movie in a time period, you better get the fucking Lego details right. That's why. Mint, did you see the new It movies? Have you reviewed those?
chapter 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay. What was your review of chapter 1? Did you give it a positive review?
I gave chapter 1 a positive. I forget exactly.
Okay. You need to make it negative because apparently the Legos they have a Lego turtle in one scene. Apparently those green Legos didn't actually exist at that time. So I need you to put a new video up and be like, sorry, I retract my statement for the previous review of it.
I retract my solid 5.4.
What
I
about,
knew. Yeah.
sorry. What about It Part 2 though? That one has 3 endings and 3 beginnings and 3 things.
No, that movie sucked. I've had no like. I really enjoyed the It Chapter 1. That was another one I had a problem with too many jump scares. But I really enjoyed it minus the jump scares. And then I watched the second one and I was like, oh, this is garbage. Why did they do this? But yeah, Skinamarink.
Skinamarink.
I don't know what to think. I think I liked it. And now this has become a meme.
Yeah.
Chattering
It's on the thumbnail.
the chattering phone card, which apparently they sell at Cracker Barrel. My dad lives near a Cracker Barrel and I forgot to stop in there and buy one.
I think I would watch it again. I think after watching like a bunch of videos on the theories of the movie, which are fucking fascinating. I think because of that, there's like a whole divorce and trauma theory that I'm really into right now. So I think after watching that, I'm definitely going to rewatch this.
Yeah, again, this is experimental. And I know that pisses some people off. Like Mint, she was really angry. She said, fuck this movie. I need an actual story beginning.
She threatened us over it.
Yes. She said, I hate art.
Tony, you can't put that slander out there.
She also said she hated
Mint, I've
Italians.
never seen you make abstract art.
Well, no, I don't. I don't make abstract art. I make cool posters, like none in frame.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're like, I make cool posters, and then you pointed to William Shatner on a Star Trek poster. I'm like, that you didn't make that, Mint.
No, I didn't. I made this one and this one. This one's in frame.
Okay. Mint, I want to see you make like abstract art, but still give it like, I want to see you make abstract art, but still give it like really good tits. So just like a blob with no shape and whatever, but still really good tits. Can you make erotic? Mint, I challenge you to make erotic art based on Skinamarink. I don't know how you'll do it.
Put some mommy milkers on that phone.
Give this car mommy milker.
Well, if you want the car to have a set of mommy milkers, I can do that. Later.
I want you to try that. Make this car sexy. I want to see the art of that. That is my challenge to you.
I won't be scared anymore if there's mommy milkers.
Okay. But yeah, I love some of the memeing that's going on with Skinamarink. What did I say? I'm like, what did I call us? I'm like, we're like Stanamarinks or Skinamastans.
Skinamastans.
I love the meme. I sent it to either both of you or one of you, where it's like, it's a blank hallway, and then it's the same picture of the blank hallway, and the subtitle's like, it's Skinamarink time. Me and Cecil Trachenberg, we were talking about Skinamarink on Twitter, and he posted, he's like, this was my favorite scene, and he just posted like a black screen with static, and I was like, that's pretty basic. Everyone knows that this is the best scene, and then I just posted a picture of my lamp in the hallway. I'm like, that's my favorite scene. But no, there were moments I really liked in this.
Skinnaman milkers.
Yes, man, I need Skinamamilkers.
Oh my god,
Skinamamilkers. But yeah, I kind of like this look of I would like to see the way this was filmed, maybe told in a more traditional narrative, filmed in a more traditional way, to see if it gives the same effect. One last thing I want to say, I can see why this might have been really fun to watch in theaters.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this, if the theater had a good sound system, I'm pretty sure this probably really put you on edge. And I could see this being with a group of people in a theater, like anticipating the next scare, only to be let down that it was a jump scare. But the anticipation, I can see this being really cool, especially if you go into the movie going, I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this is about. It did really well. This only took like $15,000 to make. And I'm sure a lot of that budget went towards some of the visual effects and just promotion.
Yeah.
And it made a killing. It made a ton of money.
Good for them.
But yeah, good for them. I really want to see what the future holds for them. Now, we can put our lights back on. We can de-Skinamarink.
Yay, de-Skinamarink.
De-Skinamarink, everyone.
Yay! I'm not scared anymore.
We're de-Skinamarinking. We're de-Skinamarinking.
Spectre Gadget kept me safe.
His hat fell off.
I know. Don't yell at me.
But yeah, we're okay. No more Skinamarink. Ah!
Good lord!
I'm scared. Help me.
Yeah, no, I wasn't scared. I was just checking if you were scared. Can we move on,
Okay.
please?
C stands for scared.
No. Wait,
Mate,
that's
what the fuck?
that's
Anyway, mate. Okay. Next, we've got one of the more fascinating documentaries I've ever seen. Gunther's Millions on Netflix. Oh my god. Okay.
holy shit.
Someone at work mentioned this to me, who goes by the code name Rachel Dolezal, because I tried to think of the whitest white girl name ever. So Rachel Dolezal recommended this to me. And I remember seeing the preview for this when she sent me the trailer like a month or two ago, and I was like, holy shit, is this real? I'm like, this sounds awesome. Official Joey C. What did you know about this documentary going into it? Did you watch anything, or did you just fire it up?
I just fired it up. Once again, the famous Tony from Hack the Movies sent a super chat. He sent me a list and said, hey, man, you better watch this. And I thought, okay, I'm going to watch it. Wow. Tony said I only had to watch one episode. That was my only requirement.
Yes.
I watched the entire thing in one day.
It took me 2 days just because of stuff I was doing. I needed to finish it.
It was amazing.
Man, what did you know about Gunther's Millions going into it?
Well, I knew there was a dog on screen, and that's it. I've just been watching the Rock movies, so I have.
Oh, that's right. You're in the middle of
Yes.
in the middle of a rock-urary. So, Min, how many episodes of Gunther's Millions did you watch?
None. So Joey.
What?
Yeah, Tony. I haven't seen any. I don't know what it's about. You can clue me in. I can be the audience.
You could have watched one episode, but anyway. Okay.
You're going to be shocked.
I swear to God, man, if you didn't watch one episode of Chromosome 21, I'll punch you.
Well, I have
All right.
either.
Oh, God damn it. Huh?
I have seen Antman though.
Okay. So Gunther's Millions. Okay.
17 movie reviews, Tony. What time am I supposed to?
You know what? You really put us to shame. You're outdoing all of us when it comes to movie reviews.
It's true.
This is Hollywood's feminist agenda by making the younger girl
Woke.
a hero that is outshining the original male heroes, in this case, me and Joey C. But we'll talk about Antman in Quantumania soon. Now, so Gunther's Millions, man. It's a dog. This is a real thing. The dog is part of a trust fund, and he's a millionaire. Because years ago, a German countess who was very rich, because of a pharmaceutical company her husband owned, she had no heirs. Her son Gunther tragically committed suicide, and she had a dog named after him. And she went, you know what? I'm going to give all of my fortune to my dog Gunther. And all of his heirs. So I think Joey, what is it? There's like 6 Gunthers
I
right
think
now?
6, yep. I think there's
So
6.
every Gunther inherits this like $400 million fortune. And they live the best life. There's all these rules in place about how like it needs to be fed at this time. It needs to live in a really nice place, blah, 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 blah. Sounds interesting, right, Mint?
It sounds interesting. I do have one question though.
Yes.
Well,
You're gonna have a lot of
Gunther
those.
is a dog. Who's taking care of the dog, and do they have any access to the money, or is it just to Gunther?
Well,
Well-
the dog has a person,
A caretaker.
a caretaker. The dog has a caretaker, Mint. Don't you worry. The dog has a caretaker.
Good.
Now, it gets a little weird because it's like, wait a minute. In the late 80s, I believe, it's like this dog was part of a band with young, sexy people.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. okay.
Dude, they played the song in the show, and
Yeah.
oh my god! And they were
Yeah.
like, "This didn't perform well." I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
"Yeah,
did not
no
do well.
shit.
It
What
did
do you
not do well.
mean?"
Gunther's caretaker. You learned that Gunther's caretaker really has a lot of issues with stuff. And then
Yeah.
in 2003, we find out that Gunther, the Gunther group as it's called, they bought Madonna's mansion in Miami. So a dog bought a mansion. It was like a whole thing. It was a whole thing. He did a whole publicity tour, but there was a controversy, Mint. The dog on the publicity tour was not the real Gunther. They used a Gunther double. The real Gunther was in Italy. Yes, the Italians are involved. You'll never... What was that?
I said, Tony, come on, Tony.
You'll never believe it, but if something sounds shady, and I feel bad saying this, whenever I see something, I'm like, this sounds a little shady, and then I find out Italians are involved, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is starting to make more sense. Yeah, but the one guy was like, no, we don't take the real Gunther out on publicity tours because for his own protection. But yes, the dog owned the house, and then Joey, I think this is when like red flags started going up. I was like, hold on, what's going on here? They ended up moving a bunch of sexy young people into the mansion with the dog. And it turns out part of the Gunther group, one is take care of the dog and everything like that. And the second thing is like Gunther needs to live with this family. And the whole point of this Gunther experience is to explore joy and try to find a cure for depression. So they have like, which by the way, Joey, I was cracking up when the one guy's like not even really a scientist, but he was wearing a lab coat. So they had all these people in the mansion. They let them party all the time. They gave them anything they wanted. They worked out and they encouraged them to have lots and lots of sex. And they were studying them to see how much joy that they were getting. Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say? Yeah.
Tony, just to be clear, having sex with humans?
Yes.
There were no animal sex involved in this project.
As far as we know.
That's right.
As far as we know.
That's an
yeah.
there.
Yeah. So that's what I was like, what is this? And then you find out like, oh yeah, the whole point of this is to explore a cure for depression. Because remember, Gunther is named after the Countess's late son who committed suicide. And the caretaker, was best friends with that guy, wasn't he, Joey? He was best friends with the real Gunther.
Yeah.
And
you could say that.
So he's personally invested in this and he needs the cure for depression.
Yeah.
And he's going to find it. Well, the Miami experience didn't work out. So they tried it again in Italy. It turns out, again, without spoiling much, you really need to watch the series. This guy's just crazy. And I think it's a tax fraud, like a tax shelter fraud thing. It's like
you
the
are
most corrupt
1,000%. That's the only thing it is. They're just trying to do anything they can to get around the legalities of the animal being the sole heir to this fortune. Because
That's actually really smart.
There's a lot of laws that they would have to forfeit the fortune because there was no person in the will no human in the will, basically.
You find out that there's workarounds. Like the reason Germany is involved is because there's a bank that will allow this, and then they have like an account in like the Bahamas, so they have all these shady offshore accounts.
Man.
And by
Italians,
the way,
unbelievable.
Man, there are so many scenes in this documentary where the documentarian will ask a question and you'll see someone go like this. I don't know how to answer this. What did so-and-so say? What did he say? I don't know how to answer this. I don't know. Why are you asking me this? Like everyone is afraid to talk because
Yeah.
everyone is just like, oh God, if I answer that question, I'm fucked.
Yep.
The story just gets more unraveled, and I'm like, oh my God, I could not predict that it got that insane. And I don't even want to say what the big spoilers are.
No, you can't. They need to like. You will not believe it.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and then at the very end, you know, the trailers are playing and the credits are playing, and at the very end they have one last interview with this guy, and he drops like a bombshell, and he's being vague on whether he's just making it up or if he's being serious, but he drops a bombshell, and I'm like, they got to do a season 2 of the show. I need to know more about this fucking dog.
Well, that's exactly what they're gonna do for sure.
And I want to know the well, I don't want to talk about who the original owner. I want to know if that girl ever gets her revenge on the guy. It's insane. It's insane. And knowing that it's real, like, it blew my mind.
Think about like how everyone went crazy when Tiger King dropped, and like,
yes.
oh my God, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. This is 50,000 times crazier.
What? How?
No, it's okay. In terms of like the conspiracy and the lies and stuff, Tiger King was a little bit more crazier because he had meth heads blowing the brains out and getting eaten by tigers and stuff. That one might have been a little bit more crazier.
You got a good point.
I will say though, going into Tiger King episode 1, you're like, oh, I know what I'm getting out of this. All these people are fucked. Going into Gunther's Millions, I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the backstory behind this rich dog? And at the end, I was like, oh, Italians are just real shady and kind of perverts, and maybe starting a cult. I don't know.
Kind of about it. There's a massive sex cult there that is being covered up by a dog, and I'm not liking it. It gives a bad name for Italians everywhere on behalf of Tony and Joey. I'm not liking it.
Oh, great. Hold on. Oh my God. Because I set this. No, it's public. It's public.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. The broadcast was. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I can't pull the comments up on screen, so I got to go to the super chat thing. I swear to God, if anyone clips this, do not send this to Carl, you assholes. I'm going to cut it out of the podcast version. This happened. I didn't change the one setting in this. God damn it. I swear to God.
Why do you keep using StreamYard, Tony? You keep messing.
No, it worked fine. Last time, I accidentally hit a button on my keyboard and I backed out of it. That's how I lost it last time, but they were all there. But that's okay. I'm going to pull up the super chat tab here. It's fine.
I was just saying that we were recording our Doom commentary track on StreamYard.
Oh, yeah. Man,
record. Recorded.
Awkward.
The next day, you sent me your stuff and I went, okay, time to download those recordings. And I saw nothing, and I went, you son of a bitch. I forgot there's 2 recording settings in StreamYard. Anyway, super chat here. I want for 10 pounds. So we're starting off with Looney Tunes money. Okay. I watched Roadhouse, but remembering Swayze made me sad. Tony, as you are the Jordan Peterson of movie reviewers, what movies are okay for men to cry over? First off, no, I am not Jordan Peterson of anything.
By that? I'm just curious. What do they mean by that?
And the answer, and I think we'll all agree, especially you, Joey, is you should never cry ever, right?
Ever. If you cry, you're weak and you're not a real human.
Right, Mint? Do you agree with that?
Crying?
Yeah.
Like, do I agree if crying's bad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awful.
I think the C in Joey C stands for crier.
No. I don't ever cry.
Now listen. Okay, mate. Maybe you can answer this guy's questions. What movies are okay for men to cry over? What movies would you allow? Say Riley came in crying, and he's like, "I just watched a movie," and he's full of tears. What movie can he say he watched that would make you respect him for crying?
If you say anything other than Batman Forever, you're wrong.
What is it, man?
I'm trying to think, because like I wouldn't even cry at like a really good film like Tarantino. So I don't know. There are some films that are tear jerkers. Like
Mm.
but I can't remember them on the top of my head. But there are tearjerker movies that are like, I'm gonna steal your tears and I'm gonna use it to slurp slurp. I'm gonna slurp up
They
tears.
jerk those tears. They jerk those tears, much like Mia Goth jerked Alexander Skarsgård in Infinity Pool. I will say, when I was a child and I used to cry, I used to get really sad when the cat fell down the waterfall in Homeward Bound.
Oh,
Remember that?
come on. That's just not cool to bring up.
Yeah, and then I got and then I got this cat who still 12 years later just thinks the litter box is optional. And every single time I'm like, where's the closest waterfall? But no, that used to make me cry. Shadow at the end trying to dig his way out of the hole and you think he gave up. That was a tearjerker. But then I became an adult, so I don't cry anymore. Joey, what movies made you cry?
You know, I did cry watching this Chromosome 21, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I did cry quite a lot. But I'll tell you what genuinely made me cry, and if nobody else agrees with me, I'm going to be very upset. The new A Star Is Born, the 2018 one. Cried like a baby, let me tell you.
With Lady Gaga?
Yeah, and also House of Gucci, because it really painted Italians in a bad light, and I cried for my heritage. You know.
Okay.
Cool.
I have a tearjerker film that I just thought of. Clerks 3.
Oh, I
That's
did
a
cry on that
tearjerker.
one.
Yeah,
good.
that's really sad.
I can't believe you
Kevin
guys.
Smith's cries are more masculine than not crying.
I can't believe you guys saw Clerks 3.
What you
the
did?
hell?
Saw it in theaters.
No.
What?
I didn't see James Silent Bob's reboot. I didn't see the Nazi sausage movie that he made. I haven't seen a Kevin Smith movie since maybe either Tusk or Cop Out, and Cop Out was
Why
garbage.
not?
Clerks
Why
3
not?
was pretty good. I'll give him that.
I hate Clerks 2, so
Wow.
yes.
That's a hot
Anyway,
take.
Clerks 2?
yes.
Clerks 2.
We have to get back to super chats, man.
Yeah.
Dead Man Jack says, "What's up from Central New Jersey? I'm 5 minutes from the quick stop where Clerks was filmed. Great movie. Keep up the good work. Love the channel. I love Clerks 1.
It's a great
I
movie.
love Clerks 1. Ryan Powell, aka Ren on the Shaved. I haven't seen any of these movies, so I can't comment on them. I just wanted to say hello to Tony, Mint, and Joey. This one is from ASE Presents. For $5, turn down Mint's mic and instruct her to get on the fucking mic when she talks, LOL.
That's a big LOL.
What was that, Mint?
I have been on the mic. God, I'm literally on the mic right now.
Good job. And then Dead Man Jax, he sent $2 super.
Just waved.
Just waved. Just
Hey.
a $2 graphic of a guy waving.
Hey.
And then Jingai Jigo Kamuto for $5 says, coming in March, Mint Salad Saul, Neil Breen's Twisted Pair. Oh, I would love Mint Salad to talk about Neil Breen movies. Have fun with that, Mint.
What?
It's an insane guy who has money and access to editing software, and he doesn't know how to use it. And yet he makes movies every goddamn year. So send in your super chats. We've got a couple more things to talk about here. And by the way, if you're a $10 patron, we have a couple of them waiting. We're going to have them come on in the end and talk to us. Okay. Next. Chromosome 21. I only watched the first 2 episodes of this. Mate,
Really?
you did not watch this apparently?
I don't know what it's about. What is it?
What do you think it's about based off that cover?
People with Down syndrome.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong, actually.
So this image went viral and someone on Twitter was like, has Netflix just given up? And I looked at this and I'm like, holy shit, did they make a Down syndrome John Wick movie?
Yeah,
I'm like,
thought the
I
same thing.
need to watch that, because looking at this, I'm like, oh, this is an action movie with a Down syndrome guy in the lead. And I was like, what a win for diversity. I need to watch this because I'm very progressive and for no other reason.
Diverse.
So I was like, I need to watch this show. And then I watched it. And it turns out it is a crime drama, Mint. The cops are called to this factory. There was a murder, and they find this guy with Down syndrome at the murder, and he's not confessing to anything. He's staying very, very quiet. And it's up to this commissioner, which I guess is the Chilean version of detective.
Yep.
Because this is a Chilean show. She is she's basically has to prove if the main character Tommy is innocent or not. And yeah, you find out like his brother killed the guy, but you're not sure. At least for me, I only got 2 episodes in. You're not sure why. So it's this whole thing where she has to like go into this whole Down syndrome community and ask questions. So it's a very interesting like crime drama. And like they say, like this is in the history of Chile. This is the first person with Down syndrome who's ever been accused of a murder. He's really breaking that glass ceiling there. So yeah, it's an interesting idea. I didn't know what to expect. It's not how the images are making it seem. This is not an action movie starring a Down
That's
syndrome
exactly
guy.
what it looks like too.
Joey, how far into this show did you get?
I watched the entire season because
Really?
I knew this was going to be like the one that I liked the most. I'm a big fan of diversity. Oh, let me tell you. And I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, Tony wants me to watch one episode. I'll watch the one episode. Mm-hmm. And once again, I sat and watched through the whole thing in 2 days. And I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said,
it was pretty good, man.
I'm 2 episodes in. I'm invested in the story. I want to know about the shady brother. I want to know more about the Down syndrome stuff and like the place where he was at with his girlfriend. I'm invested in the lead detective story about her husband leaving and taking the daughter.
Yep.
It's very, very interesting. Again, I don't know why they're marketing it and using these images that make it look like this nonstop action thing.
Well, I think that was kind of that might have been the point. And in that case, it worked because I would have never watched this. And I think it's a really neat, like different idea for a show because crime dramas, like, dude, they've been overdone. And this is kind of a brand new idea. And it brings in a lot of fresh punches. So I would totally recommend that everybody give it a shot because it's actually really great. A really compelling story.
Mint, have we sold this show to you? Are you in?
It sounds like really fun and interesting and like a new perspective. You say it's a crime drama show? Like, how close is it to Dexter? Just as a comparison.
I don't think it's like Dexter.
It's not even close.
No, it's not that type of crime thing. I will say it is. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think it's done in a really like respectful way. And I really appreciate that because it's like you could watch a movie like The Ringer and it can be just downright
hilarious.
Is that for that?
Hilarious. Right? That's what you meant to say, right, Josie?
Right. Of course. Very hilarious.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, I think it's done really carefully and really respectfully. And I really dig that. That's what I say.
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait to finish it. The lead girl is kind of a MILF too. Anyway,
I agree.
It is all
in. Yeah.
What are the can situation like?
Pretty good. You actually get to see her naked in the second episode. I mean, they're not like gigantic, but they're acceptable. They're an acceptable size.
Now listen, I'm gonna speak for myself here. They are fantastic.
Real quick. Okay, thank you, Josie. Why is it always the women on the show that initiate like the tick comments? Especially you, Mint. Mint, you're kind of like the instigator for all those conversations.
Well, I'm just an arbiter for someone who actually wants to understand, who wants to know what the tit size are, and I'm just the person who will just say it.
Tits?
So, yeah. Hey, what's the tits like? Well,
I'm not really a big fan of tits. I'm more or less here for the story. My mom watches this show. I think we should Really not talk about the mommy milkers here. Mom, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm just on here. I didn't write the script. It's them talking about the boobs. Good Lord.
Oh, but
I have an Inspector Gadget figure behind me. We can't be talking about boobs.
Actually, Mint, we should not be talking about her tits because we learned from the internet that you're not allowed to sexualize anyone without their consent. So
It's true.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
yeah.
I
Okay.
wouldn't want to anyway.
What was that?
I wouldn't want to sexualize anyone without their consent anyway.
Good.
Yes, which it's annoying because I've been every time I go to Pornhub, I see like a thumbnail. And I'm like, well, now I got to hunt down this girl's socials, and I DM them like, hey, can I enjoy this video? I'm asking for your consent. And they never get back to me. So, in the words of Jerry Seinfeld, I'm a little backed up. Anyway, now. Just Joey C's reaction.
Hey. Yeah, no, I like that stuff.
Now, here's the big one. Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
I want to none of you have called it out, especially during Black History Month, so you guys are kind of problematic. You haven't mentioned my really cool Black Panther hoodie that I'm wearing.
No, I noticed it.
That's fantastic. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Your
So
mic's in the way, like it always is, but...
Oh, so you just don't recognize the necklace around it? That's just not burned in your memory? Oh, does it just not? Wow.
Well, I'm too busy looking at your face, Tony. That's the money maker.
Okay, acceptable. Okay, so before I went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I was like, oh right, what was the last Marvel movie that came out? And I was like, oh right, it's on Netflix now. So I watched Lady Black Panther, and let me tell you.
Yeah.
Not very good. That movie kind of sucked. What were your thoughts on it, Mint Salad?
I like it. I like how it's like it's showing the aftermath of somebody's death and like having to deal with it and like having to go on without them and having to deal with problems when you're like your strongest leader is like dead. So I found that to be very fun.
That's an interesting point.
I like.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. If you want like kids to watch this who really liked Black Panther 1 and they want to see more Black Panther action, would you wait 10 hours into the movie to finally have a Black Panther show up?
Another good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I would have done it earlier personally, but I still like the build up to like Shuri becoming the next Black Panther and like how she has to take responsibility, and we get to like know more about like the people around it.
You know what? I didn't mind that, but it was like, again, the problem with all, and we're going to talk about in Quantumania, a lot of MCU movies lately, they're just jamming way too many characters into their movies to set up their spin-offs. And this is something the MCU was called out for early on. And
that's all it is.
They course corrected a few times and then they fell right back into it and they're just going along with it. So yeah, there's like Ironheart and I'm sure Namor, like, I'm fine with him being the bad guy and everything. But there's just all these characters and then the movie just ends with a giant battle. Anyway, now on to Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's too many goddamn characters.
Hey, I really like the introduction of Kang in this.
Yeah, I dig that too.
It wasn't his introduction. He got introduced in the Loki show.
Yeah.
I didn't watch
That's
that,
another
so
variant.
it works.
You didn't watch that, yeah. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, I like the Ant-Man movies. I mean, famously, the first one, disappointing because Edgar Wright was supposed to direct it. He had been developing before there was even an MCU, and he left the project right before production. So Peyton Reed stepped in, and Peyton Reed has directed all three. I enjoyed the first one. I really liked the second one. The second one was a lot of fun. Nice little breather in between Infinity War and Endgame. So I went into this one thinking, I'm like, this will be okay. I was a little less enthused because what I said a while back was Marvel movies are no longer a priority for me unless it's a character I'm already invested in, or one I've always wanted to see, and I was already invested in Ant-Man. And I should have known after Thor: Love and Thunder, I should have not seen this in theaters, but I wanted to do this episode with you guys.
Wow, thank you, Tony.
Yeah, so I forced myself to watch a movie that I would have waited for on Disney Plus. God damn it, Mint, you're good at breaking things down. What was the story of this movie? Can you summarize it?
Summary of this. Basically, Ant-Man and his family are having grand old time. Cassie, I think her name, the daughter of Ant-Man. Yeah, she creates this, kind of this device that has access to the quantum realm. But they go back to the quantum realm, and there's like a bunch of foliage, and they're like, okay, we got to get out of the quantum realm. So it's a definitely a journey. They're journeying, they're fighting, they're doing all that stuff, but they get captured by Kang. And Kang is like, I need your help in order to get out of this quantum realm, the quantum verse. And there's hesitancy to help Kang, because, well, there is the initial, oh, we're going to help Kang. Oh, well, actually, we're not going to help Kang, because we learned that he's actually bad. And then, like, the end, Kang gets sucked up into a ball. And then at the
well, don't spoil the ending outright, Nate. Yes, they are in the quantum realm. They get sucked in there. They need to escape it, but they need a device from Kang, who is also trying to escape the quantum realm because he wants to take over the multiverse. We learned in the Loki show that there were a bunch of Kangs, and then one Kang won, but then Loki and Sylvie killed him, so now there's a new multiverse full of Kangs. But this is traditional looking Kang. He can turn his face blue. He's got the classic outfit. I liked Kang. I enjoyed him. I liked that character. I liked him in Loki. I really liked seeing Scott Lang post Endgame. That was fun. He's like written a book and everything. That was funny.
You can actually buy that book in real life.
You can.
Yeah.
That's funny.
This is really cool.
Hope, that's kind of interesting that she's using the Pym particle to do all these good things, which was actually a scene in the first movie. They showed how they can use the Pym particle to, like, you know, make shipping crates smaller, to transport more things, but they cut it out of the movie. So it's cool to see them revisit that idea. But they're still superheroes and everything. But I don't know, guys. This movie just didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. The whole quantum realm, it just felt like another retread of, like, Ragnarok. I felt like we were back in Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, okay, here's another weird place. Aren't all these people weird? It's like, yeah, I guess so. The speaking of, they have all these characters, but they didn't bring back any of his heist team from the previous films.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's the thing. The refreshing thing with Ant-Man was that they were like heist movies. And there's technically a heist in this, but it is not as entertaining as the previous films. They don't do the drunk history style thing where they're talking about their plan and the guy's narrating and they're voicing over the narration. They don't do any of that. The movie's just kind of bland. What did you think, Joey C?
You know what? I'll tell you what I loved. I loved the Back to the Future 2 Easter egg.
Which one was that?
There was the pizza, and they dropped the pizza on it, dehydrates. But the reason that's like, it's not just a little gag Easter egg. It's Peyton Reed started working on Back to the Future 2. Like, that was one of his first gigs in Hollywood.
Oh, cool.
And
cool.
So that was really cool. I dig that. And I also like the post-credit scenes. I don't want to spoil it.
I only watched the first post-credit scene, and I was like, I'll look it up on Google. I don't care. I didn't hate the movie. It's not so much fine. It was kind of fun. But yeah, it's tough. Didn't click with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough following, like, Infinity War and Endgame, because the bar has been set so high. So when you have a mediocre Marvel movie that in a world that didn't have Endgame and Infinity War, it would be a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like the bar's been set so high and the market is so oversaturated that even a good movie that, like, subjectively would be received well is not going to be received well. And I think that's kind of the case in this. But I tell you what I do like, though. Once again, I got another.
You got real loud there for a second. Sorry, you got real loud there for a second.
I'm so sorry. This is the 31st Marvel movie, 31st or whatever. Baskin Robbins obviously plays a big role in this. Baskin
Yeah.
Robbins, 31 flavors, baby. You like
Now,
that?
look,
I didn't even get that until he just pointed it out.
I like that.
Yeah, it's just a weird movie to introduce. I mean, even though he was introduced in Loki, kind of like for the film audience, introduce this big threat. A lot of people were shitting on the effects in this film, and for the first, I was actually enjoying like the first like half of the film, and I thought the effects were fine. And then it got to the heist with the core scene with all of the Scott Langs, and that just looked terrible. That looked really, really bad. Did you ever see the movie The 10? That comedy that Paul Rudd's in?
Yep.
Okay, you know how like in The 10 he's chroma keyed into that black void with the 10 commandments?
Yeah.
The effects in this movie looked on par with that.
Yeah, literally on par with that.
Like they're all just like, what was that?
I thought this movie was on a volume. I was just watching it and I was like, oh, this is like on a volume because the backgrounds are so nice and pretty, and I don't see any green screen effects unless there are.
Oh no, they were definitely when he's with all his doubles. That's definitely green screen. Speaking of volume, like the effects toward the end, it feels like a video game. And there was another movie that felt like this.
Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah, all of them now feel like this. But it feels like in a video game, you know, when like you're on a platform and there's all these cool things in the background, but you know you'll never interact with it or go near them. They're just like background detail. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, I am in this small platform where I can interact with things, and everything else you'll never interact with, so just ignore it. It didn't feel like anyone was really there at the end. That bugged me. All right, first up, the right off the bat, worst thing in the movie, the new Cassie Lang.
Yeah. They fumbled that one.
The girl in Endgame didn't have many scenes, but just the few scenes she had, I really bought into her performance. And then I feel bad for this girl. They fired her without letting her know.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that was
They announced Antman 3, and they were like, hey guys, some broad from Detective Pikachu is going to be Cassie. And then this girl tweeted, she's like, well, I just found out, like all of you, that I'm not going to be in Antman 3. Yeah, this girl was in Detective Pikachu, which is a movie I half paid attention to, because I wasn't reviewing it, but I still got dragged to the theater. Awful movie. Terrible movie. Detective Pikachu, never watch it.
What? Tony, come on. Tony, you can't slander Detective Pikachu like that. That's Ryan Reynolds in it.
That is made Ryan Reynolds being. I literally just reviewed Blade Trinity. Ryan Reynolds being in a movie is not a guarantee that it'll be good.
Red Notice is an example.
Okay, I never saw Red Notice, but yeah, she was also the only other film I've seen her in is Paranormal Activity 4, and she was terrible in both those movies. And I'm like, I haven't seen her in a movie in a while. Maybe she'll be good in this, and she's bad. I'm sorry. And I really like the Cassie character. That's something I really like from the first two films. The whole father-daughter relationship there. And now this girl's playing her, and I'm just like, I no longer care about this character.
I 100% agree. She wasn't awful, but I could totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but now she also has a suit. Did they even give her a stupid superhero name? Do you remember, Mint?
I don't remember if she was given a name, but I do know that
Stature.
Like a reboot of like the Young Avengers from the comic. So I think her name's supposed to be Giantess or something. I've never read the comics. I've just read I've watched a lot of comic tropes.
Stature.
Yeah, but
her name is Stature.
Her name's Stature. Okay, I was wrong.
I will say I liked
tits or something.
I did like Michelle Pfeiffer and what's his face? Michael Douglas. I liked both of them. I was actually invested in a lot of their storyline, and this sounds bad, I kept forgetting that Hope was in the movie. The Wasp. She's just every scene of her.
She really only shows up for a little bit.
This is every scene of her. Mom, what's all this going on? And then the mom goes, I can't tell you, Hope. Mom, what's all this going on? I can't tell you. Okay. Mom, what's the quantum realm? It's like every scene. And she does again. She just felt like she was a background cat. She's in the title,
Like a second
Ant-Man
thought,
and the
yeah.
Wasp.
She comes
and
in,
she's barely-
saves the day, and then fucking leaves, and then comes back, and it comes back at the right time every single time.
And they get separated because they have to separate them. I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of movies want to do the Empire Strikes Back thing where they separate the heroes, and sometimes it works. But for this one, I'm like, I think I would have liked just to see them all together as a group. I don't think we should have separated them.
Personally,
Yeah.
I know like Ant-Man, like the other movies are like movies of where he's separated from his family. I just wish that he like stayed separated from his family. Like
No, but even though he's separated from his family, I like that he had his like little team that he was hanging out with. He doesn't have that in this. And speaking of things missing, it's not as impressive seeing him shrink when he's in a world where just everything looks weird.
That's a good point.
It's cool to see him. Yeah, it's cool to see him shrink in like a relatable environment because you could do fun gags like the first one where he gets sucked down the tube and he goes behind the wall and there's a rat and it makes like a T-Rex roar. Stuff like that is fun. And then when you're just in a world where like the buildings are apparently alive and there's a blob of ooze that wishes he had holes. It's like, look, Ant-Man's small. There were a few times where I legit didn't know if he was big or small because I couldn't tell in context. I had nothing to compare it to unless he was standing next to someone. Like there's that scene at the end where Cassie's talking to MODOK, which we're going to talk about. And I didn't realize that she was gigantic because she was looking, because he's on the ground and she's looking down at him. But then when she ran away, her feet were like, boom, boom. Like, oh, she's a giant right now. But I couldn't tell. I don't know. Did any of the shrinking stuff impress you in this film?
So like the first initial like shrinking, we're shrinking to the multiverse. That's I mean not the multiverse, the quantum verse.
Yes.
Quantum realm, whatever it's
Quantum
called.
realm, yeah.
The quantum realm. So it's supposed to be smaller than an atom.
Yes.
It's like the context. So I was able to keep that context, but like within this smaller than an atom, there's like full-on civilizations. So you know what this actually reminded me of? It reminded me of a microverse battery in Rick and Morty. Watching this reminded me a lot of Rick and Morty. A lot of Rick and Morty dialogue. Oh, the building's alive. Oh, yours is dead? Would you see that, Rick and Morty?
I only watched one season of Rick and Morty. That was the woman season where they had women writers and Pickle Rick was there. And there was a Mad Max episode. And there was a joke about a guy who looked like a smudge. And that's all I remember from Rick and Morty. I'm not a Rick and Morty. Like I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was funny. I watched with my ex at the time. She was like the big fan, but I've never felt a need to go back and watch earlier seasons or later seasons. And I was like, I don't care. I'm all about BoJack Horseman, but then BoJack Horseman kind of sucked toward the end too.
Riley thinks this movie is just Rick and Morty tropes. The writer Jeff Loveness liked one of his tweets, one of his tweet threads about that.
Yeah.
So also the two crows thing, when you have like the Ant-Man, a bunch of like tiny little Ant-Men, they're all advanced civilization. Oh, they got advanced very quickly. It's exactly like the two crows thing in Rick and Morty.
Actually, no, the ants becoming super advanced reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Lisa makes the Treehouse of Horror, where she makes a little civilization. Which, go back and watch our best Treehouse of Horror moments. I think Adam Does Movies cameoed at the end of that episode, and that was like one of his favorite ones. Yeah, and actually, you said the atom reminds me. I have a book. I have a book called The Incredible Hulk: Heart of the Atom, and it's a story where the Incredible Hulk gets shrunk down to like the quantum realm, and he's hanging out with civilizations down there. But yeah, that one was a little bit easier to digest. This one was just like, look at all this weird shit. And it's like, yeah, we're already kind of you're throwing too much weird shit at us. We kind of already got weird shit out of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Thor movies. And now you're just throwing more weird shit, but it's not even like interesting. Like, oh, I'm a ball of ooze and I talk.
This is like what Rick and Morty is going to be like without Justin Roiland.
Yeah, that show's gonna bomb. We have Joey.
This is the Ant-Man right now, because it's written by like Jeff Loveness, is also written on Rick and Morty. I just think this is like the concept of what Rick and Morty is going to be like without Justin Roiland.
Yeah. Joey, we know someone who's worked with Justin Roiland. And he said like a lot of the stuff in the booth is improvised. So Cartoon Network and them being like, we'll be able to continue without him. He's like, yeah, good fucking luck.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's we've talked about some of the characters. By the way, a bunch of Ant-Mans working together as ants. That's a cool idea.
Really
and the
cool
fact
concept.
that we finally got it and it looked like shit, I hated it.
It ruined it.
Was there a reason Kang just couldn't go into that thing and grab it? Why did he need Ant-Man to do it?
I thought he didn't wait a second. That's a good point.
That is a good point. Like,
Wait
I'm
a
just reading it.
second.
Wait, did he need Ant-Man's devices to shrink it? Could
That's what I initially thought was he
Why did
needed
he-
that
wait.
device.
He could have just taken the devices off Ant-Man and gave them to MODOK and said, MODOK, go down there.
Correct.
He didn't
Yeah.
really need Ant-Man down there.
Wow.
That was fucking stupid.
Man, Kang
also-
disappointed me in this. Like, just because
He looked
like,
cool, but yeah.
Yeah, he looks cool
there's
as
so
hell.
much hype from like Loki. Like at the end of Loki, he gets like dead, and then like, oh well, what's gonna happen? There's multiverses. There's gonna be a multiverse war with a bunch of Kangs, and now we have this Kang, and he's like, oh, well, multiverse wars might come if I don't get up there. And it's like, is this the Kang has been exiled to this tiny little realm? What has he been exiled for? That's like the questions that I've been.
Because he was taking over. He was trying to take over the whole timeline. Remember that one guy, the Kang in Loki. The Kang in Loki killed all the other Kangs until he was the last one left, but he was the only thing maintaining the timeline. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is how MODOK was first shown in the trailers, and
Wait,
everyone
really?
went, yes, and everyone went, oh, why is he a robot? Why don't they just make him look like a big head? Comics are silly. They can look silly. Just make it a giant head. Get rid of this robot. Well, little did we know, this was a helmet. And they did make it a giant head. Now everyone's saying, that looks terrible. Why did they do that?
Oh my!
So-
It's so bad. I love it. It's
Hey,
just
dude,
so
me too. That's why I love it, because it's
There
so
was no
fucking
version
bad.
that would ever look realistic, but there's stuff they could have, like, they should have whited out his eyes, like MODOK. And I know, but okay. MODOK looks weird without his traditional hair. Here's the thing. They can't do the regular MODOK in the MCU because MODOK is tied to AIM, that organization, but Iron Man 3 like drastically changed AIM. So you can't really get a MODOK from that. So they made their own MODOK, and it turns out it's the Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man 1. He shrunk down to the quantum realm and became a big head.
It's Spy Kids 3D. I'm telling you.
Yes. And then they built him a body, and then he's MODOK now. Now, I will say, I hated... I like that actor. I like the actor. But I hated him in Ant-Man 1. I really like Ant-Man 1, but I thought the character sucked. The villain sucked. Because it's the classic Marvel thing that I can't stand, where it's like, I'm basically a palette swap of the good guy, but I'm the bad version. I'm like, all right, well, that sucks. Stop it.
Interesting. That's a hot take.
Yes. But in this new version of him, Darren, as MODOK, I'm like, okay, I don't even see it as MODOK. I'm like, this is a big floating head. I'm kind of loving this. I'm kind of enjoying MODOK being dumb and stupid in this. He had, like, toward the end when I was checking out of everything, because again, it turns into a giant battle. And I'm just so tired of superhero films trying to all be like Lord of the Rings. It's fine once in a while. Like Endgame needed it. Infinity War needed it. There are movies where they need that. But then like I just watched Wakanda Forever. That was a giant battle. Shang-Chi, which, Mint, I think you like Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. It's pronounced Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
It's that way. That is one thing I will say about Wakanda Forever. I'm sorry, Lady Black Panther. The trailer when he went, my name is Namor, and I'm like, oh my god. if people tell me I have to pronounce his name like that when it's literally been Namor since the 60s, I'm going to lose my mind. But then other characters in the movie called him Namor. I'm like, okay, if they said it, I'll be fine saying it. Sorry. Yeah, Shang-Chi had a big giant battle at the end. I'm like, enough with the giant battles. Like, superheroes occasionally, like the big crossovers or whatever, you would get battles. But a lot of superheroes, like, I'm the good guy, I'm gonna go beat up that bad guy. Like, that's it. You don't need a giant battle with two armies, and this was that.
The giant battle in Shang-Chi was justified. Specifically. But in this one, I feel like it was justified-ish. Like, the battle could have been smaller. Yours defeating Kang.
Yeah. But it's just like, we have an army of freedom fighters, and now we have an army of ants, giant ants. And then again, like Wakanda Forever, it's like, oh, we got the army of the Wakandans versus the Atlanteans, or whatever they were called. And I was like, oh, cool. And then again, Shang-Chi, again, two armies there. And it's like, yeah, after Endgame, they should have taken a break from giant army battles. Like,
that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. They need to knock it off.
Like, think about No Way Home. No Way Home. That was fun. It was just a couple Spider-Man fighting bad guys around the Statue of
exactly.
Liberty.
There's no big battle there. It's just two guys, you know? It's intimate. It's very intimate fighting.
Far From Home, Spider-Man is taking out all these drones by himself. Like, that was fun. We didn't need giant armies and battles. I don't know. I didn't hate Ant-Man as much as everyone else, but I wasn't impressed by it. And again, this is a character I like, and I didn't get the things I liked from the previous movies. It was really disappointing. And yeah, what are your final thoughts on this movie, Joey C?
Like I said, it's hard to follow up Infinity War and Endgame. And like Thor Love and Thunder, which I enjoyed, I know you didn't, but
oh my God.
It's a middle of the road movie. It's a fun ride. It's not too bad compared to the other movies. It does not add up. The special effects are awful, and I love it. Spy Kids 3D all the way. How does that guy poop? That's what I'm saying. You know, good Lord.
Mint, what did you think about Ant-Man 3?
All right, my final thoughts. So I went into this movie really excited for Kang. Because I remember him from Loki. I was like, okay, what's going to happen? I thought this movie was going to be like, okay, this is now Kang. Kang is going to start destroying stuff and all this stuff. But no, in this movie, he's kind of like imprisoned. You know, he's a big bad. But I felt like he's not as much of a threat as he should be in the universe. Because, like, I don't know, I didn't feel threatened by him as much. And I wish I did.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, because the post-credit scene that I saw, I looked up the other one afterwards. There's 10,000 Kangs coming, and for some reason they gave all like the menacing dialogue to the one who sounded like this, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. That was a bad idea. And then the other post-credit sequence is just a trailer for Loki season 2, as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh.
Yes. Now I see a couple people in the chat. I feel bad, Bearded Outlaw. If you're watching the live stream, I saw that you were in here and you disappeared. There were a couple people who popped in and out. We are going to talk to you soon. The one and Dennis has been in here for a while. I'm looking at a guy with a shark on his head. Unfortunately, the guy who was in here earlier, I did see a super chat. We're going to read it. His phone died. But yeah, let me pull up some super chats and we'll hear from our loving fans. Bearded Outlaw, if you're watching, get back in there. Get in there. I want to talk to you. Okay.
This is the part that we cut out, folks. We're gonna fill this. We're gonna fill this awkward space with nothing but nothing. How the heck are you? Good. We're here. Mint salad. How are you?
Okay.
Something about
David Bauer for $2 says milky milkers.
That's one I can get
that's
behind.
what the people want to hear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Milky, baby.
And yes, we have Richard for 10. Richard, you didn't have to send another 10. He said, sorry, Tony, phone started to die. I feel bad.
You don't like money? That's amazing.
Huh?
You don't like
What
money?
was that?
Tony does not like money.
Well, he already paid 10 to be in the chat in the episode, and I was going to have him on, and then his phone died, apparently. Okay, Dead Man Jax, again for $5. Any thoughts on the movie Green Street Hooligans with Charlie Hunnam and Elijah Wood? It's free on YouTube now. It's one of my favorites. Random, sorry. I haven't seen that movie since college. I remember really liking it back in the day. I believe the director of that is a woman who ended up doing Punisher Warzone and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, Lexi Alexander.
Lexi Alexander.
Right? Is that her name?
Yeah, I assume that is her. Real quick, I'm gonna message that guy in Bearded Outlaw. Tell him to get back in there. I'm gonna say, get back in there.
Put that thing back where it came from. So help me. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay. Next, from ASE Presents, Rick and Morty did that exact Ant-Man made of ants jokes in their Avengers parody with the guy a million ants. I remember that one. I do remember that one. Although there is a character in Spider-Man that predates Rick and Morty by a lot called Swarm, who is literally a man made out of a bunch of bees. Brett Norman for $5. They didn't take the time to animate a face. They literally stretched his face. They did. Oh, I will say, everyone looked digitally airbrushed in this movie, except for Evangeline Lilly. But like the daughter, I'm looking at her cheeks. I'm like, her cheeks are airbrushed.
It's like, what's that app that like chicks use on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm noticing it way more in movies now. Oh god, Vin Diesel in the latest Fast and Furious trailer, he looks like an airbrushed doll.
Got to cover up them wrinkles, man.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? This is so bad.
Stealing the movie from me, Tony. Come on.
What? Oh, sorry. ASE Presents for $5 again says Jeff Loveness tweeted about how excited he was to make his own Lord of the Rings battle scene, but with MODOK. So, you know, that's where culture is.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, better
you
look.
You have
exactly
a battle in the
same.
movie. It's just like when multiple superhero films are doing battles. It's like, okay, I'm getting a little tired of the battles.
Wash, rinse, and repeat.
I'm missing the just punching and whatnot. Blazing Star 25 says, hey Tony, what are your thoughts on Nightbreed? Love your channel, man. I love Nightbreed. I watched Nightbreed for the first time recently, and I was lucky enough, now that the director's cut is available, I watched it the right version of the movie, and I really, really enjoyed Nightbreed, and I highly recommend everyone watch that. I actually want to go back and watch the theatrical cut to see how they butchered it originally. And
Clive Barker is the director for that one.
Yeah. Nightbreed, I mean, is basically if there was like a horror version of Star Wars.
Really fucking cool. Really cool, man.
That sounds cool as shit.
Yeah, and the Flail says for $5, not stabbing eyeballs.
The Flail? Come on, we talked about this.
Yes, we talked about it. He's the one who made me the stabbed eyeball pen holder. Okay, good. Bearded Outlaw's back. Bearded, stay there for a second. We're going to go down the line here. We only got like 3 in the chat. If you're a $10 patron, now's the time to jump in. Okay. Turn your mic on. The one end Dennis.
Hey, Tony. Hey, everyone.
Hello. Which movie or show on this list did you watch?
The only one I saw was Antman, and I have a little list here. So I paid $11 to see it, and I feel like I overpaid for it, man. I feel like I paid too much. Don't get me wrong. I saw this in a Dolby nice theater with the reclining seats. I saw it in matinee, so it's like maybe $11 is like 2008 movie prices, kind of. But
yeah,
like where it wasn't the third movie that I really wanted from Ant-Man. I agree. Yeah. When we even look at the structure of the movie, we had like a narration intro, then we had the whole middle of the movie where it takes the whole title, tells you what's going to happen essentially. And then, you know, the narration outro. One of my main complaints, which you did mention, was no Lewis, no Michael Pena, no T.I. In the first 2 movies, I know Pena was in it for what? The first one was 7 minutes of screen time. The second one, 8 minutes. This one, no minutes, man. 0 minutes.
Yeah, even like Cassie's parents weren't even there, which is weird.
And they could have had it easily. I feel they could have, you know, when he's walking down the street, that's not a spoiler. He's walking down the street in these narration intros. And he could have just walked past the security business. That could have been it for him, you know, just seeing, oh, there's that's my former friends, you know, they're my friends from doing their security. And I was like,
maybe they died in the snap while they were on a plane. And then when they blipped into the air and they fell to their death.
That's probably what happened. That's probably what happened.
Now, which movie or show on the list that we talked about that you didn't see were you the most interested in? What one do you want to now see after we talked about it?
at first it was Chromosome, that one, the 21.
Yeah.
But after you described it, it didn't sound as thrilling. Like if it wasn't like Dexter or any thing like John Wick,
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
like
that wasn't
that.
gonna swing for
It's
me.
like you want to cry and watch a compelling story, then watch it. But
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
something like my mom would watch. If that,
Yeah, so you're telling me you're not going to be a Skinema stan?
Probably not.
Come
But
on.
maybe just watch a few scenes on whatever I see in the shorts.
Each scene
Okay.
is like
Skinamarink.
like a minute long of just darkness. By the way, just preparing.
But occasionally something makes a loud sound. Thank you, the one and Dennis, for popping in here. I hope you really enjoyed being
And
here.
how dare you about Clerks 2? How dare you, man?
That's what
I
I'm
like
saying.
Clerks 1. I like Clerks 1.
you.
I like other
See-
Kevin
see
Smith
three.
stuff. He stopped making good stuff. All right.
Wow.
Goodbye,
No.
the one and Dennis.
Take
Love
care.
you. Okay. The Bearded Outlaw 37. Oh my God. Your mic is terrible, you asshole.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's all I have.
Against his beard. That's what makes him an
Yes. Pull it away from your beard and do not actually touch the mic. There. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I
Put
can hear
me
you.
in that beard.
Okay.
Stay just like that. Okay.
That's all I have.
What movie on the list did you see? Movie or show on the list did you see?
Antman.
What did you think of Antman?
I thought it was all right. I took my nephew to see it, so I think with him seeing it through his eyes, he had a lot of fun with it. So I kind of looked at it a little different.
Okay. I don't know. Did Kang do it for you?
It was fine.
Yeah, Mint was let down by Kang.
Yeah, he was all right. Paul Rudd's charming in it always, so
I
He's always
agree.
good to
Paul
see
Rudd's
laughs.
always
I agree.
charming. I remember when I watched Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I'm like, this guy's charming. He's going to go places. He's going to be
Yes.
in the biggest movies ever made.
I'd show it off, but I don't want to mess up. I had the Thorn logo tattooed on me, so
Oh, that's right. Listen, did you watch Lady Black Panther, the movie that came out before this?
I did.
What did you think of Lady Black Panther?
I liked it. I cried.
You cried?
I
I
cried.
almost cried, so
Adam.
that makes sense.
Wait a second.
Mint, is this an appropriate movie for a man to cry? A guy asked earlier, what
Yeah.
movies are appropriate for men to cry
It's
at?
an appropriate movie to cry to. The beginning is really, it's like, the beginning is like, you're just in it, and it's quiet. There's no music, you're just at a funeral, and you're supposed to feel it. And that's the point you're supposed to cry at.
Crying is for children. I would never cry.
Exactly.
I cry all the
Your
time.
name, Joey.
I didn't like Shuri.
No, I didn't really like her, but
Do you,
I didn't
you
mind
think
it.
someone else should have been the Black Panther, right?
hey,
Look,
I'm not gonna say
listen. I'm just saying, if Kevin Feige called me, I'm ready to be Tone Chala.
Oh my god.
there you go.
I haven't. Hold on. Come on.
That's beautiful.
Do we all approve of Tone Chala? Are we all on board for Tone Chala? I called into there was a campaign to recast T'Challa that a lot of people were calling it that were trying to take off. Andy Signor, a friend of mine, did a video like a debate should they recast T'Challa, and there were two guys on there, and I joined in the chat. And they're like, Tony, where do you stand on this? And I did that same bit. I'm like, I think it should be me, T'Challa, and I put the outfit on. And I'm like, oh, all these people think I'm a real asshole.
The fact that you haven't been canceled or shot for that matter.
There have been
is
attempts.
shocking.
There have been attempts to cancel me. Okay, there have been many attempts. Bearded Outlaw, we met in Detroit. You're awesome. You're a very big supporter of the show.
Yes.
Get a better mic.
I will.
I definitely want on the show more.
I will.
Get like a head, like a headset like this with a little thing like that. You get it at Walmart. Just pull.
I will.
Grab one. But no,
will.
I'm glad I finally got you on the show. Thank you for being a $10 patron, and thanks for getting invited onto this show. Okay, I'm
Appreciate
gonna
it.
let you go now.
All right. See you guys.
Goodbye. Okay, next we have a guy I've been staring at constantly. the deep striker.
How's it going?
It's It's going great. Great, Deep
All right.
Striker. What's up with the shark hat?
It's Jawsome.
Yeah, it's very awesome.
That's
It's very
fantastic.
And
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have this shirt here, and it's just a guy, and it says "Stay positive" at the bottom.
Oh,
And
that's
he's being
beautiful.
eaten by a shark.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
That's funny.
Okay, Deep Striker. Which movie or show on the list did you watch?
I saw Antman.
Everyone just watched
Seems-
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I'm a theme
Not
here.
Pretty
one-
much.
I wanted one person to be like, "Hey, I'm a fellow Skinamarink."
That's what I'm saying. That's what we need.
Yeah, the other ones I just didn't get a chance to watch yet.
Okay. What did you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp? Ant-Man featuring the Wasp, maybe Quantumania.
So after I watched the movie, I had to go look and see like who wrote it because I was like, "What the?" I'm not gonna curse, but like, who wrote
You can
this?
curse. We were
Who
talking
the
about
fuck wrote this then?
We
Man,
were
Talk
talking
about
about
peeing and
we literally
blowjobs
talked
and-
about Mia Goth jerking off a guy. You could curse.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I had to go look up who wrote it, and I was like, this guy, wrote for Rick and Morty, and I went to see what episodes it were. I was like, oh, that makes sense. These were dog shit.
Mhm.
But it's funny that mentioned the Two Crows because he did write that episode, I think.
oh,
Yes. By the way, Riley's comment about how it's like Rick and Morty without Justin Roiland, that's the one the writer liked, right? Man,
I think he the thread was specifically he just thought it was like Rick and Morty tropes, and like he liked the thread about that, but he liked the thread, but like down the thread a little bit more, there was like it was like him saying like it was him without Rick and Morty. I mean it was just
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
guy, I don't think the guy realized that was kind of an insult. So he liked it.
Like there was a thread that said it was like with all the things like this is Rick and Morty without Justin Roiland, and he liked the tweet that was like praising Jovlevness. Basically, it's just
Anyway,
like Rick and Morty.
But yeah,
So what are yours? Was your main takeaway for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? You just didn't like it, or you did like it?
I mean, there was like maybe at the beginning and the end were okay, but like in the middle, like some of the dialogue was just really, really corny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, oh, we gotta go stop them now, kind of things, and it's like
Mhm.
you can tell when they're ad libbing, and it's just like the dialogue's just really bad. The setting I felt was really bad for these characters because I feel like they're more like a street level, kind of like Daredevil. They fit more in that kind of scope, which is weird because it's a character that shrinks and.
Well, I always knew he
Goes
was going to
giant.
go to the quantum realm and interact
Yeah.
with people down there. I just didn't think it was going to. When we finally got there, I didn't feel like it was going to be feel like a rehash of Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's like the first half of the movie. I felt it was like, oh, this is a weird Star Wars movie. Like, like the whole, like even like the costumes and everything is like very Star Wars-ish.
What did you think of MODOK?
I kind of wish it was Patton Oswalt's MODOK instead.
No Patton Oswalt in it. He's already multiple characters in the MCU. No Patton Oswalt ever.
Yeah,
He's terrible.
I don't know if you've ever seen that show on Hulu, but it's pretty good.
I have not. But yeah, thank you for tuning in and joining us. It was great. I love the hat. That's a good way to get on the show. Wear a hat.
Yep.
And thank you for being a $10 patron. We very much appreciate it.
Yep.
So we're gonna. Oh, wait. Which movie or show that we reviewed are you now the most interested in after hearing us talk about it?
Let's see.
You better answer right.
What?
You better answer right.
So, Skinamarink. That's the one. Is that the one that everybody wants to watch?
That is it.
No, I don't know. I'll probably watch Infinity Pool and then I don't know. I'll probably make some spaghetti or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Go make some
Yeah.
spaghetti. Thank you
Fuck
for going.
yeah.
Oh, I do see. You got the Jesus. He's hanging out in the background there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the one who sent me that?
Yeah. That's me.
Oh!
No
Thank you.
way.
Thank you for sending me the giant dude. I have lost count of how many times this thing has frightened me. Because it doesn't look like Jesus. I just keep thinking there's a giant 6-foot man in my house or my apartment. It scares the shit out of me. I might drop it off of my nieces because my brother-in-law's like real religious, and their nursery is like Noah's Ark themed. I'm be like, here, have a giant Jesus. All right, well, thank you for the Jesus. I love it. And I will talk to you later. Goodbye, the Deep Striker.
Have a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna give everyone last minute chance for super chats. Last minute chance for super chats.
This is your last chance. We can whisper sweet nothings into your ear.
You
Within
have-
reason.
You have right now, it is the powers in your hand to make Mint Salad or Joey C or myself say anything you want or ask any question you want. You have a limited time frame right now, but while we're waiting, if those come in, Joey C, the official Joey C. Not to be confused with the Joey C I saw being advertised in my neighborhood.
For Frank
Mint, there's a
Sinatra.
Joey C in my neighborhood who does a Frank Sinatra songs. I can't.
He's a
I'm gonna have
fucking
him on the
fraud.
show one day.
The Battle of the Joey C's.
What was that, Mint?
There's gonna be both Joey C's talking to each other.
I should have both Joey C.
I'm like, you're a fucking fraud and you know it.
So, official Joey C, where can we find you?
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender fluid, and everybody else in between, you can find me at official Joey C on YouTube, youtube.com/official Joey C, or on Twitter, arguably the less cool name, at official Joey C _. I know I couldn't get official Joey C. It was taken.
I know. I remember when you messaged me. I'm like, I can't trust that this is you.
I know.
The real Joey C wouldn't have an _.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mint Salad.
Yes.
Real quick, actually, Mint Salad, shut up. Joey C, what videos have you done recently that we should check out?
I did a Men in Black one. That was pretty cool. And I revisited Grind, the 2003 classic movie. And I'm also reviewing Haggard, the 2003 classic, the Bam Margera movie. So keep your eye out for that.
Nice. Yes. Check all that out. You also stream often. You stream a lot of PS2 games.
Oh, classic PS2. And
Yeah.
check out my channel. We do a lot of fun stuff there.
We should talk next week. I got some good availability. You should either come here or I'll go there. We can stream some games together.
Yep, we're doing it. It's already decided.
Okay. Joey C, shut up. Mint
I'm
Salad. Mint Salad. What's up with you? What are you doing these days? And where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on my Linktree. That's just where all my sites are. But more specifically, I want to hype up Black Adam History Month. We're doing all the Rock movies for the month of February. So, I've reviewed so many. I've reviewed 16 movies plus one Scooby-Doo review this month. Or so if you want to know the movies that I've done this month.
Yeah.
I've done Pokemon the movie 11, Groundhog Day, then The Mum Returns, Scorpion King, Fast 5, The Rundown. The Rundown.
I also reviewed the 2 of those movies, but keep going.
Be Cool. Then there's Pokemon Movie 12, Walking Tall, Gridiron Gang, The Game Plan, Race the Witch Mountain, The Other Guys, Southland Tales, Faster, Doom.
I'm sorry.
Dude.
I'm sorry I didn't record my end of the commentary. That's what I felt the most bad about that. I'm like, well, me and Mint just watched that movie for no reason. However, I don't know if you've decided yet. Mint recorded her end, and I told Mint, I'm like, you should just upload your audio so it's just you responding to things I'm saying, but you can't hear what I'm saying.
You should overdub it in.
That should be really fun. Anyway, keep going.
Did I say Race to Witch Mountain? The other guys.
Yes.
Okay. Pokemon the movie 13.
Okay.
Journey to the Mysterious Island. Skyscraper. Snitch. G.I. Joe Retaliation. Planet 51. Antman and the Wasp. Quantumania. Red Notice. Baywatch. Moana. Pokemon 14. Rampage. Empire State. Jungle Cruise. DC Super Pets. Hercules. San Andreas. Pain and Gain. And to finish up the Black Adam History Month, we got Furious 6, Furious 7. Then we got Jumanji. The 2 Jumanji movies he was in. Jumanji.
Yeah.
And then Black Adam. And the Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy will be on Tooth Fairy Day, which is February 28th, if you didn't know that.
I didn't even know that was a day. Man, I think it's real inappropriate. You as a white person trying to use a black character to promote your stuff. Anyway, what did you think of T'Challa? Do you like T'Challa?
Oh my God. The official Joey C has no part of this cancel stuff here, folks. So when you're canceling Mint Salad and the famous Tony from Hack Movies,
It's me, T'Challa.
oh good lord,
Tony's being the offensive one here.
I'm not offensive. I'm just saying, if they want me to be Black Panther, I will be Black Panther. If they call me up and they said, Tony, you're our guy, be Black Panther. Because I don't know if you know, the actress who was Black Panther was apparently very anti-vax, and I haven't said anything about the vax. So I'm their guy. I'm ready to slide right in there. But really, I would like M'Baku to be Black Panther. I actually really like that character. But that was really, really fun, and I believe all 3 of us have spicy sites that you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. But I assume it's all 3 spicy site name and then our names, right? Official Joey C and Titsman Salad, I believe.
Yeah, Titsman Salad. Link tr.ee/Titsman Salad. So you can just one good location.
Okay. And yeah, that is it from us. Let's do these last bit of super chats.
Super chats.
How are people enjoying this live stream? I hope you guys are liking the live streams. Okay. Richard Milligan, who was the guy who would have been on the show if his phone didn't die. I did have a comment about Infinity Pool. Take Hostel, Christmas Vacation, a bad M. Night Shyamalan movie, put them in a blender with whiskey, and bam. That's a good way to
I agree with that. That is a great way to describe that movie.
That's actually a really,
very
funny way to
accurate.
describe it. Holy shit, Christopher Hensel. I feel like this is not the only time he's done this. He donated $100.
Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you.
And he
so
just said, here you go, Tony. Guys, only don't, and I feel like he said this before, but I want to reiterate, only donate large amounts if you can afford it. People have been telling me that I'm very greedy, and I am. But if you can't afford something, I'm not going to convince you. If you have the means, then definitely give me the money. I deserve it. But if you don't have the means, you can hold on to the money. I give you plenty of free comment. The bare minimum I want is for you to watch my videos and listen to my podcast without any ad blocks.
And hit the like button too.
What was that, man?
This Christopher, the guy, he's does a lot of big donos. I just want to say hi. He does a lot of big donos. Thank you so much for helping
Christopher,
all of us.
Are you like a Saudi prince? What's going on here? Why do you have so much money?
I just want to.
I was gonna say, I'm like, people were making fun of me because they were like, well, if Mint's in the chat, who's gonna donate all the money from her account? And it turns out Riley is.
It is Riley, yes, that's right.
And
then finally, the flail says, fun stream. I agree. It was a very, very fun stream. I love doing these month end wrap up live streams. I've been liking the beginning of the month live episodes. We just did what's the worst Conjuring movie. We went through all the Conjuring universe films, me and Casey, and that was actually a lot of fun. And I plan to do more like these. I think next month is a big one, guys. We've got we have the new Scream, I think.
Got Creed.
Yep. Creed 3. I think maybe that movie 65 comes out with the dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm looking forward to that.
It's gonna be a very loaded month. I'm actually very, very excited for it.
I'm also
Okay,
excited.
everyone. You're also excited. Sorry I didn't get the chats on screen. I forgot to switch the thing to public. My bad. Okay. Love you all. Please like, share, subscribe, and join Patreon if you want to sign in, if you want to join the stream next time. Goodbye. I'm clicking end stream right now. Goodbye. Hold.